our Scions have freed Mimir's well. They now travel up the Bifrost on the back of an unusual friend. It's a long journey, and many things were discovered, many things to think about from what they had seen. Now they've walked along a branch, jutting out from Yggdrasil into the abyss around, and in the distance they see what they have come so far to do. Can they free the Fenrir wolf? Hello everybody, and welcome to a Rendezvous with Destiny. As ever, I am your GM Luce, and with me today I have...
Hello, my name is Graham. I play the character of Elspeth Lockwood, who is just very happy we got to meet the giant squirrel.
Hi, I'm Will. I play the character of Cleo Brewer, who's just feeling very lost right now and not a huge fan of basically anything which is going on.
Hi, my name is Am, and I play Flora Watson, daughter and chosen. Titles changed. Daughter and chosen of Sun Wukong the Monkey King. Luce and I had some secret fun discussions about it.
We did indeed.
We are here today, and in terms of being your favourite podcast cast, I thought it would be cute for our listeners to know, after about a month and a half of actually purchasing them, we are now all in possession of a matching dice set.
It was very cute. I got mine yesterday.
It's good energy. We each picked a suit of cards. And I'm just opening my little tube now and popping them out.
No, that's not an accurate characterization of what happened. You picked a suit of cards for everyone.
Was I incorrect in assigning Cleo the clubs?
You're not wrong. You just made it sound like a democratic process when really you just gave everyone dice.
Oh, I love you.
Am took executive editing decisions.
If any of these decisions were incorrect, I think the only thing that could have potentially been swapped around was Luce's hearts and Mia's diamonds, but I think hearts is the best characterization for the GM.
And you also get diamonds because you now have a job, so you're now actually like making money.
Money. Well, I'm about to
we're all
move into
functioning
somewhere
adults
new.
now.
Considering the place that I'm about to move in new is like very nice, it costs a lot of money to live. Saying that I have money is a stretch. The price of independence is high, and I will pay it. I will pay it.
Very temporarily.
But yeah, I am excited. If I can't, Graham and I bought these dice for people, in that Graham bought his and mine, and I bought Luce and Will's. What if the rolls are bad? What if Graham and I got everyone cursed dice, is the question.
Oh, my dice are already cursed. It's my issue is it's not the dice that are cursed, it's me that's cursed.
Then that is quite
true.
funny.
So I'm very happy, and the new dice are very pretty, but I have now touched them.
Yeah, Luce has touched that.
I should have just left them in their lovely little case.
There are 2 D20s in each set, so maybe one of them will be
Their fate
good.
is sealed. Yeah.
Nope.
If you wear gloves, do you think it would be safe? Yeah.
It's too
What
late.
if you do that thing they do in the community episode of Dungeons and Dragons where the DM rolls all the dice?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. They do an advanced Dungeons and Dragons episode, and because none of them know D&D, the Dungeon Master rolls all the dice for everyone. That's something some D&D groups do.
I dislike that. I mean, if it's what floats your boat, fine, but I dislike that. That's like that's just the GM telling a story.
Like, we're here to
with
roll the
people
dice.
sitting there.
I still
not for me
enjoy the
personally
episodes.
either.
I think
I
they're
do
fun.
agree.
But yeah, I agree. It's a bit whack. Do we have anything specific to talk about? Because I don't know about we've managed to hit on a recording day where all of us, I think, are suffering from minor burnout. So the vibes are going to be very interesting for the next 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not like it's happy clappy what's happening in the podcast at the moment.
Nope.
Yeah, very on brand.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coming off a pretty horrible cold,
brand,
so I've just been like mainlining Calpol at the moment.
It'll be fine.
Oh,
To be
such
fair,
a good shout.
Calpol is delicious.
Sorry, not Calpol, the other one, paracetamol.
Oh, gross. Never mind.
Oh, boo.
Have I told you my theory that I think healing potions taste like Calpol?
I
Oh, that's
vibe
less
with
fun.
that theory.
Calpol, I would either just be...
Is Calpol available outside the UK?
I like it.
Do we know? Because this
Yeah,
could be
it's
very
good.
niche
If not, this is
content.
very niche.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say it seems like a very distinctly sort of British thing to have Calpol as a kid, but I don't know.
No, I have no idea.
And am I going to bother to look it
It's
up?
very
No.
weird to me that like the majority of our listeners are not UK based, considering we are UK based. It's just strange to me.
No.
The Americans love our accents. They think they're sexy.
They are sexy.
She said with a mouthful of crisps.
What? The American accents or the British
No,
accents?
our accents, of course.
Yeah. To be fair, our third highest listenership is New Zealand. So
Okay,
New Zealand,
yeah, that
hi,
makes
we
way more
love you.
sense.
That's cool.
Keep being amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're from New Zealand and you're listening
Good
to the
for them.
podcast, we
That's
love
fine.
you, and you can tweet at us to tell us that you're from New Zealand, because that would be cool. And you can tweet at us at RWD_pod, and it'd be lovely to hear from some people. Why don't, when you listen to this episode, you just tweet us and tell us where in the world you were when you were listening to it? That would be a fun project to do. So do that.
I do
That's
want to
cute.
keep an eye on our Twitter this episode because we are one follower. As of recording, we are one follower away from 400 and have been for the past 24 hours. And I think it would be very cool if we caught our 400th follower in the next 2 hours and gave him a shout out. But that's just me. This is when we don't get the follower and I have to edit this bit out.
Yep.
But
No. Leave it in. Leave it in.
segue. Who wants to help a doggy?
Do you guys want to help a little puppy who needs rescuing?
Yeah.
Well. That's an interesting characterization of freeing the literal thing that causes the end of the world. But anyway,
Well, maybe if he hadn't have been tied up in the first place, if you treat dogs with love and respect.
oh my god.
You stand on this branch of the world tree. The swirling patterns of chaos in the stars and sky around you, changing and shifting. And tethered on this branch, floating in space above you, is this small rocky outcrop, upon which is the Fenrir wolf. The sword through his jaw, tied down with chains. Very thin-looking chains, but tied down nonetheless. He seems to be howling into the void. He has not noticed you. As you walk closer, you realise how large this wolf is. You thought that Ratatosk was large, and he was. A very big, fluffy squirrel. But the Fenrir wolf is ginormous, taller than skyscrapers. As you walk ever closer, the shadows cast by his shape across the branch and across the tree stretch and warp and almost seem to move on their own. You guys gonna do anything?
I was going to say, what is the ground that we're walking on? Are we coming into,
So you're currently walking on the branch, and you're walking up, and you're coming up to where this sort of very, very heavy, really thick iron chain has been jammed into the branch, and then on the
it's
other
a
end
big
is
floaty
jammed
rock.
into this rocky
So we have
outcrop,
to get up
is
the
sort of
chain
keeping it
to get
tethered.
to it. There's no other way. It doesn't look like. Okay, cool.
Big floaty rock. Yes. Doesn't look like it, and the weird sort of glowy ribbon magic that Loki has had all this time is sort of winding itself up the
And
chain
the
and leading
is
straight
how
to Fenrir.
big? Will we have to clamber along it, or is it big enough that we'd probably just walk along it? It's so huge.
You could walk along it quite easily.
Huh. Interesting.
I mean, okay. Who wants to go first? Not that I don't want to. I mean, I just think that you guys would be maybe a little bit better at it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so if you're going to be climbing up the chain, I will require a roll.
Can I just grab Cleo before she does that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hey, are you okay?
No?
What's up?
I'm just thinking, like, how many other times have we all died? Like, what if this is just another one of those times, you know?
I'm gonna hold her hand. And I'm gonna be like,
She's gonna jerk her hand away.
okay. Listen, I don't know what happened all those other times, but here's the thing. I don't know if I was on your team in the past, but I'm on your team now. And I'm not gonna let anything happen to you that doesn't happen to all of us. Okay, you don't have to do this alone. We're with you.
Okay.
So, I thought you should know that I think you're a real hero. And
Don't say
I
that.
don't,
No.
it's true.
No, please. No, don't say that.
Okay, but whenever you know, I think you need to be a member of this team, Cleo. We're a team.
What? Why?
Because if we don't, then we'll fail. Okay? So I'm on your team, and you better be on mine. Now let's go help the dog.
Sure.
I
I don't know if that was meant to help, but I don't feel any better.
I'm sorry. What do you think I could do to help?
Can you just, like, not tell me how to be for a bit?
You know what? That is fair. That's fair.
It's not your job to try to hold us all together. Like, we're here out of convenience, and we're here because we were thrown together, and this isn't some sort of magical group or team. Like, we're not the Avengers, you know? It's like, we're just people that have been thrown together, and that does not mean we have some sort of special connection. Like, once we get out of here, I probably won't want to talk to any of you again, because I don't want to remember anything we've done down here. So don't try to make this more than it is, okay?
Flora's face, absolutely falls, and she just kind of nods and is like, you got it.
And Cleo's already sort of half turned away and started, climbing up the chain.
As you start to turn away, you feel something brush around your ankles. And little cat, little nondescript little cat, just winds her way through your ankles in that figure of 8 they do that can be quite annoying because you trip over them, but it's very sweet. Sort of looks up at you, headbutts you slightly, doesn't really do anything else, but just, she's there. And she's letting you know that.
GM says, don't screw this up. Okay, understood. Oh, Luce, I actually have an item which I think could be helpful here.
Oh, what do you have?
So it's they're the hill-striding moccasins, and in the book it just says they lower the level of terrain that you're traveling on, so I don't know if this helps in some sort, but I thought I'd bring it up.
I'll say they help. You're going to have to give me a might athletics roll, but I'll say you've got a plus 1 to that, so you can roll an extra die.
Okay, great. Let me get my dice. I'm not looking forward to talking to Am after that bit of role playing after the session, and I can already see I've got a load of messages from Am now. So, what was that? It was athletics.
Might athletics.
Sorry, I didn't hear the first one.
Might
athletics. Okay, that's pretty good.
And you roll an extra die.
Yep. So I've got, that's not a great roll. I've got 2 successes off that.
As you sort of look at this chain. It's almost like, you know, those massive chains they have to help like anchor the like cargo ships.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? There's actually huge chains. Yeah. It's sort of like
Yeah, I get you.
bigger than that. So it's but think that kind of vibe, absolutely huge. And you start sort of like always climbing up it like a ladder. It's a bit slippy almost. It's not wet, but it seems almost slightly, it's quite difficult to climb. But there's a couple of times where you almost slip and fall, but you do sort of eventually make it up onto this rocky outcrop. It's not like it's not a really, really long chain, but you manage to get up onto this rock. And as you are, the rock is not overly large, maybe like 500 meters across or so. And Fenrir is sort of at the other edge of this rock, away on the other side, and is huge. Yeah, like just as you just sort of look up and you look up and up. It's not on the scale of the world tree, obviously, but you are having to like hold your head as you crane your neck backwards to look up to take in the entirety of his figure. Is anyone else going to have a go at climbing the chain?
I gestured to
Yeah, I
Elspeth
guess I'll go.
first.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Might athletics.
That is... How many dice is that? 7. Okay, that's fine.
7.
7.
Now that's a niche British reference.
Yeah, that's one for the British kids in the crowd. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 3 successes.
Yeah, you scamper up the chain quite quickly. It's that thing where it's not wet, but it's very cold, and so it's quite difficult to hold on to, but you manage to get up quite easily in the end.
I mean, I guess I'll kind of look at the others and be like, I mean, are we sure that we all need to go across?
It's probably better we were all together. No?
Okay.
I would recommend sticking together. When he is released, I don't know what's going to happen. I wouldn't want, the chain to break and the island to go spinning off with some people on it and some people
I
not.
think you'd rather get rid of all of us in one go, I see.
I was going to say, I don't think that was as reassuring as you
Well, I'm
thought.
coming with you.
Oh, okay. Well, sure.
And as they say, as Loki says, well, I'm coming with you. They look at the chain, sort of like slightly side-eye the chain, click their heels together and just start floating up the chain.
That's just cheating.
Luce, I'd like to use my...
They turn back a wink
I'd
at
like
you.
to use my bracer for this role because I'm not as adept as Elspeth or Cleo.
Yep, okay, you can use your bracer.
So that's 6 dice. Big money. Wait, no, I need a
Got
D10.
this.
Where's my D10? Where's my D10s?
It's the only dice you need for this game.
I forgot. Okay, here we go. Let's go. I don't know how to play this game.
It's alright, you're in good company.
None of us do.
Okay. Okay, it's 8 and up, right? 3 successes, 1 exploding, 4 successes. We good.
Nice. Yeah, you find it ever since you felt that presence in the forest. You felt somehow lighter. Things have seemed a little clearer, and as you start to sort of scamper quite easily up this chain, you're climbing up it very, very agilely. Manison sort of looks at the chain, sort of looks down at him, sort of like gulps a little bit, and then really easily just climbs up the chain because I rolled ridiculously well. Manison has 4 dice in Might Athletics. I got 6. He rolled a 6.
What?
That's... What?
I know!
Wait, just loads of exploding?
Loads of
or,
exploding dice.
That's horrible. I'm so against
That's
that.
not what's supposed to happen. I mean, I'm happy
Get their
about
good
this
rolls
one.
out on
but-
our
No.
We want to get their good rolls out on our allies.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Fred sort of climbs out a little bit like Cleo, sort of gets up a couple of times where he slips a little, but you're now all on the rock. As you look over, you can see Loki. You've known Loki for a while now, and while at first they come across very smooth and suave, once you get to know them a bit better, you're aware that they're just a walking ball of anxiety. They are somehow...
Sorry, are we talking about Loki or you?
They are somehow even more of a walking ball of anxiety at the moment. They're almost perceptively vibrating in place as they are stood on this rock.
Okay, so what do we do?
Get the chains off, get the sword out, right?
Yep. But
Might make it sound easy.
know how we're gonna do that. Okay, let's just go and do it. Yes.
Yeah, let's go take a look. How are the chains affixed to the rock? I assume he's chained down, right? As well.
Yes, he is chained down. They're sort of, almost like big tent pegs is the best way I'm going to describe it.
Yeah, nice.
But the chains themselves are very, very fine.
Okay.
They don't look like they should be able to hold this wolf down. They look really elegantly filigreed, very, very thin, almost more like a very, very dainty necklace chain, but long.
So, if I remember correctly, these chains are dwarvish made, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the guy's name, but sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I'm forgetting things. So we're probably better off trying to remove the fixing than the chain itself. I think the chains probably won't break. That's my thought. If anyone feels like they want to have a crack at them, of course.
Okay. I mean, I think we should do the sword first, right? That's hurting him.
True, and also with the chains on, he won't be able to reflexively chomp us whilst we take the sword out. Not that I'm worried that the giant wolf is going to eat us, but I'm worried that the giant wolf is going to eat us.
He was a very polite puppy.
He's had a bad time.
He didn't... I know. And Loki is crying.
Hey. We're going to get him out, okay?
They just sort of nod and sort of lean on you a little bit.
It's going to be alright.
Flora kind of turns to Cleo and Fred and she's like, "You're both weapon guys. Either of you want to do the honors?"
Gonna sort of half look at Fred and see if he's...
The sword is ridiculously large, so it's probably going to need more than one person to try and pull it out. It's almost like a giant's sword rather than anything that you could, you will be able to do things to it, but you don't think you could physically, wield it or anything like that. It's ridiculously huge.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so it looks like it's a very big sword. Okay, give me... Fred sort of starts being a little bit nervous, but then he sort of leans forward, sort of holds a hand up as if to shush you all. Not maliciously, he's just no one talk for a minute. Sort of is looking at the sword in quite a lot of detail. So I'm just going to do Fred a quick roll. Okay, that's going to be an interesting thing to roll, but let's do it. Intellect close combat. It's going to be fun.
Oh, what a mix.
Oh,
what a mix.
Yeah.
Fine, he's good at close combat.
He's not a smart boy, though.
No.
No.
Himbo.
Head empty. No thoughts.
Do you want me to roll this as well? Sorry.
Yes, and Elspeth, if you also want to roll it, you can.
Ooh, I would like to do that. I'm helping.
Yeah. I'm looking at the numbers I've got for these things, dude, and yeah.
So that's two successes.
Okay, Fred got 3.
One success from me. I'm rolling not great today.
Okay, so as you all...
Yeah.
I'd 5.
As you look at the sword, it's even though it's huge, it looks to be like a hand and a half sword kind of style. So a little bit longer than a long sword, a little bit shorter than a great sword, long hilt, cross guard, and Fred sort of goes up a little bit closer to have a look at it, and he seems to be looking at where the hilt meets the blade. Okay, I think if we work together, we should be able to get the hilt off, then almost like lift the jaw off that way, rather than trying to pull out, which might be worse. That makes sense?
Not really.
Oh, okay. So, he turns out he pulls his sword off his back, which is, his sword is also a hand and a half sword, the sword he's got at the moment. So, he sort of like shows it to you. It's like, so, you see where the hilt is like attached? The hilt is the bit at the top that you hold with the crossguard. You see where the crossguard is like attached to the blade?
Uh-huh.
So, normally,
Yeah.
this is a bit of a weak spot on a sword because they weren't forged together. Some swords are forged together all as one, which is cool, but not this one. It can be a bit of a weak point sometimes. So if we sort of figure out a way to almost like get the sword out of the hilt,
Okay.
so then we can pull
Right.
the blade through,
Oh, I see.
rather than trying to take the entire sword out of the ground.
So you want to go, like, pull the wolf off the blade of the sword as opposed to pull the sword out of the wolf.
Yes.
That's smart. I like that. Okay, great.
I just, we gotta figure out how.
How to attach the hilt. Okay,
And also
cool.
how to get up there.
Yeah, is there anything we can climb on?
The
wolf and the chains?
wolf?
I don't
There are,
climb on the
there's the
sword.
wolf, there's the chains, and there's a lot of boulders around, which you could theoretically move.
Yeah.
And then there are some like rocky spur, little bits of like rocky outcroppy spur things around Fenrir as well, which you could climb up theoretically.
Flora. Hello, Flora.
Yes, hello.
You know how sometimes you can carry people around and fly short distances with your magical items?
Yes.
Is that a thing you feel you'd be able to do?
No.
Damn.
She's already done that, hasn't she?
Yeah, I can only use it once in a, or Flora can only use it once in a, like, season.
I know
basically.
that. Elspeth doesn't know that.
Oh, yeah, well, Flora's like,
Flora probably doesn't know that
yeah,
either, to
okay.
be fair.
I don't know. Did
That's
you
fair.
try before? I can't remember. I think. Okay.
no, I haven't. I mean, I'm like, okay, I mean, I can see if I have the juice. What?
Yeah, because your dad spoke to you, didn't he? So maybe he'll
Well.
help you out.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. You know, he kind of pulled a. Actually, you shouldn't feel bad because I tried, and it doesn't matter how you felt about that. I tried, and that's what matters. Doesn't matter if you felt sad or abandoned or not because I tried. I have some thoughts about that, but you know, let's move. And I'm gonna try. So what exactly did you want me to carry? Sorry.
Us up to
Us?
the hilt. Yeah.
Top.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna try and summon my cloud.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do a roll here, and we'll see what happens from the roll. I'm not saying you're most likely not going to be able to summon the cloud.
Yeah,
but
I will
okay.
say that the rule is I get it once a season, or I can get it once an adventure, or I can get it multiple times if I get my dad's blessing, or if I complete a task he asked me to do.
Yes, so that's why we're doing a roll.
Yeah.
See.
So I want you to roll me
Mm-hmm.
presence persuasion.
Ooh.
Okay,
You're
I'm
persuasive,
not
right?
terrible at this. What I do have a special skill in persuasion, but I
Ooh,
don't
what
think
is
it
it?
applies here. It's face of an innocent. So if I'm trying to convince someone that I'm not responsible or haven't done something bad, I get
No,
an
that's
extra
not
die,
gonna
but
that's
yeah.
not gonna apply
No.
here.
I figured.
I love the
We do
mental
love the
gymnastics Sam goes through trying to.
Well, if you've got these skills, you've got to try and shoehorn them in as many times as possible.
I know I haven't been able to use Cleo's streetwise skill once
No, 'cause we
in the
haven't been
entire
in
game so
streets
far.
yet.
So
It's
Yeah.
fine, they're coming.
well, exactly.
The streets are
We'll
coming.
see.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Threatening cul-de-sacs.
Sorry, I need to get more die. I need to get one more dice.
Did you say
did say
threatening
threatening
cul-de-sac?
Someone's been
That's
listening
good
to.
episode title for the
Okay, well-
future.
Yeah.
Remember
Ooh,
that.
actually, that's going to be a very good episode title for a future
I
episode.
don't like that.
I'm so scared. Okay.
You're not meant to agree, Luce.
Oh my god, what has cursed our podcast today? That's one success out of 7 dice.
Oof.
Luce has the dice
What's
rolls
going
today.
on today, guys?
Hey, I'm going to do something now. I'm going to
no.
do a roll for Sun Wukong.
What to see if he remembers he has a kid.
Everybody, please welcome to the podcast special guest star, an absent father, Sun Wukong.
Special guest star. He's not going to be here.
Okay. Let's... Ooh. Ooh,
No.
that's a bad number to roll for successes.
no.
Well, it's good for me, but unlucky for some.
Interesting.
Fear.
I'm not enjoying this.
So, as you try and summon this cloud, again, you feel that presence that you felt earlier. It's kind of... It is comforting, but it does... Obviously, maybe Sun Wukong, listens in sometimes, just to check it out. So we feel the presence feels warm, but also maybe, a little guilty. And you don't hear a voice, but you get these, it's almost like images flashing in front of your mind, telling you a story. And it's almost like hieroglyphics for some reason. Not hieroglyphics, because that's Egyptian, but you know what I mean, pictogrammy type charades. A feeling of charades. That's what we're going with. He's making a deal. You can use the cloud, and he'll let you use the cloud to help out in this situation if you do something for him. And what he wants you to do is deliver something to Sobek.
I say out loud, hey, who's Sobek?
If anyone wants to give me a intellect
I'm just not
academics,
gonna roll for
they
this.
can.
You know
Cleo
I
would
love
not
doing
know.
intellect academics roll.
I know you would.
I would love to do that. That is what I would want to do most in my life.
Break the episode's curse.
Cleo knows two ancient Egyptian gods, and they're the two that he's met, and that's
Bast and
it.
Ra.
2 successes.
Nice. Also, I'd like to point out, yesterday I was in the Ashmolean with Luce,
I saw a
and
crocodile in the
we went
distance
through
and
the
got
ancient
excited.
Egyptian exhibit. And yeah, Luce saw a crocodile and was like, "Oh, Sobek's great. He's going to be on the podcast at some point." I didn't think they meant literally the very next day.
That's why I
but,
got so excited.
Brilliant.
So, you got 2 successes?
I did.
Okay, so, Sobek, he's one of the Egyptian gods, quite often associated with water and different types of crocodiles, because he's famously got the crocodile head. He's sort of associated with the military, the pharaohs. He's also called a protective deity. So, and he sort of protected Egyptian people against the dangers of the Nile. So that's sort of the vibe. That's sort of that's what you know about him. So, big buff kind of protectee. Think big buff bodyguard.
All right. I will obviously relay this information to Flora.
Oh, I mean, Flora kind of looks upwards just instinctively and is like, yeah, I mean, sure, why not? It's not a deal to start the end of the world, so cannot be worse.
Not that we know of.
You get the feeling of a really warm smile and something ruffling your hair, which is I'm not a child, Dad, but
Yeah, not enjoyed.
and this sort of shimmer happens in the air, and there's a couple of flower petals and the smell of flowers, water lilies, jasmine kind of smell.
Can
This
we smell this as well, or is it just?
yes, everyone can smell it, and everyone can see everyone can see the petals. And out of this sort of shimmer of petals and this smell, there's little wrapped box appears with a little note attached to it.
Oh.
It just says Sobek on the top.
Ooh, romantic.
I give it to Madison in his bag of holding.
Yep, Madison puts it in his bag of holding.
I am very
not-
surprised you didn't look in that.
I did. You know what? Do you really want to know what it is? Is my instinct? I knew that if I didn't get rid of it, I would forget about the cloud thing. I do really want to look at it, but now it's out of sight. It doesn't exist. So you don't need to worry about me opening it, even though now you said it. That's all I'm gonna be able to think about.
Did he
Someone's
tell you
allowed.
not to look in it?
You know what? He didn't explicitly say it, so we can always do it after this wolf thing.
After
this wolf thing.
Just the end of the world. Just after this wolf
So
thing.
you summon the cloud, and somehow it seems a little different. Again, you're getting that smell of the flowers from it, and there's almost seems to be little flowers sort of in the cloud itself now. And can you give me a little cunning science roll? Yep.
Cunning science. I have no science skills.
Me neither.
Gonna have
But
to
I
rely
have
on your
5.
cunning.
I have 5 cunning.
Yeah, I'm
Don't
glad
be
it's
empty.
you, not me, because I would have literally 1 dice in
I
this
would have,
category.
the one from cunning.
Okay, 2 successes, 1 exploding. 3
Okay.
successes.
Nice.
Successes. Very good. You don't know how long it will last, but you know now that the cloud is going to, for a little while at least, help be able to carry 2 people, you plus 2 other people rather than just 1 other person.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna grab Cleo and Elspeth and hop them onto the cloud with me. And be like, let's
sorry, Fred.
Go. Sorry,
Fred is like-
3 people.
It's alright, I'll climb up.
We can,
I used
can
to
we
do
come back and
parkour,
get-
I should be okay.
I mean, no, I don't think so. But yeah, we'll be back. I'll just carry them up to the hill and stay cross-legged, concentrating very hard to try and keep the cloud up in the air for as long as possible.
Fred sort of like walks up to the wall, like puts a pats this giant paw, like very softly. He's like, hey buddy, I'm gonna slightly use you as a climbing frame, and I'm sorry, but it is gonna help, and yeah, okay, that good? Just like looks up at this giant wolf. There's like, wolf can't really move, but there seems to be an ever so slight nod. And so Fred just starts climbing up the fur. And you can see that Loki is preparing some sort of ritual on the ground. They have, as you've been talking, they've gotten out a very, very fancy knife and like carved some runes and in like a circle onto the floor, and they seem to be dripping blood on it, and like green and gold magic is sort of emanating from it and sort of swirling around. It's very, very faint, but it seems to be heading up towards where the blade of the sword is going through Fenrir's jaw. So you assume it's going to help something.
Well, hello there, Scions. I hope you're enjoying this episode. It was a lot of fun to do. I know, because we recorded it about 4 hours ago, and I've been sitting here editing it ever since. Today we have a promo for our lovely, wonderful friends over at Snyder's Return, a UK-based TTRPG interview and actual play podcast. They've interviewed some really cool and big names like Satine Phoenix, and it's just a brilliant, brilliant podcast run by a very wonderful and dear friend. But enough about me gassing him up. You will be able to hear the trailer in just a second. And remember, improvise, adapt, overcome.
Snyder's Return is a tabletop role-playing podcast featuring interviews and a D&D 5e actual play adventure, so you can learn about different game systems and content creation, while also listening to us disrupt everyday life on the Sword Coast. We release episodes every Tuesday and Thursday on your podcasting platform, so come join us as we improvise, adapt, and overcome.
So you guys, Fred has made his way up, he's sort of sat on the, he's sort of like climbed up and climbed along the teeth a little bit. So you're all around where this sword is going through Fenrir's mouth. What are you going to do?
Has Fred joined us, sorry?
Yes, Fred
Okay,
has
great.
climbed along the teeth.
Oh, Jesus. Okay,
This is a very big wolf.
so, what are we looking at here? Hilt? Sword? How does one detach a hilt from a sword, Fred?
Normally you'd need like blacksmithing tools or something like that, but I'm not sure.
I have a large sword, will that help?
I mean, a sword will help, and then, Cleo, you can make things into things normally, can't you?
Yeah, I don't know how it works. It just sort of like happens, but yeah.
Maybe see?
Sure.
Do you have anything to pick up?
Is there like anything on the ground or anything, or not?
Oh, there's the flower petals.
There are the flower petals. There's probably, if you went back down to the ground quickly, there's definitely like some pebbles and stones and things.
No. Yeah. She's gonna pick up a petal, and as she does, it like lengthens and sort of turns into basically what looks like one of like the elven swords from sort of Lord of the Rings that have that petal-shaped kind of blade, like that sort of thing.
Blade. Nice.
Nice.
That's so cool.
Yeah, like that.
I mean, that should help. Okay, so we've got that there. And Fred goes into his pocket and pulls out a Swiss Army knife as well.
Well, that'll do it.
Hopefully. Okay, so what I would like everyone to do is roll me. Okay, it's going to be a weird one.
Okay,
Right.
we like a weird one.
You're definitely going to be rolling occult, and you can choose to either roll dexterity or intellect with occult.
Okay.
And tell me which one you're doing,
Dexterity.
because that's going to help me figure out how you're helping.
Intellect.
Luce,
So-
is this me too, or just
Yes, you too.
the people? Okay. I'm rolling dexterity.
1, 2, 3.
So dexterity. Cleo's also doing dexterity. Elspeth's doing intellect.
3
Both will also be doing dexterity.
successes for me.
3 successes.
3 for me as well.
3.
I got 1, but one of my dice is on the floor.
No, floor dice.
Floor dice doesn't count. We all know
Bring him
this.
home.
Home.
Thank you.
Okay. Floor dice reroll is a 7, so that's only 1 success from me.
Okay, so that's quite a few successes. So you start to sort of worry away. So where the sword is connected to the hilt, it's almost like there's been the crossguard was made with like they're made so they've got like a hole in it. Then it's put around the sword, then like fixed in place. So you're essentially trying to open that out so you can take the hilt off. So that's what you're trying to do. So Elspeth, you're sort of like directing people of where to like apply like the pressure and the leverage to try and get this off. And it does seem to be moving. What I want you to do now is roll me might or cunning with survival.
Who's that? All of us, sorry.
Yep, all of you. Might or cunning with survival.
Survival? That's,
Yep.
We don't do that very often. How dare.
Also, episode title, The Sword in the Stone.
Oh, yep.
I'm gonna go for might.
6 dice.
Uh,
go.
Four
There's
dice.
might for me as well.
We're rolling so many dice this episode, gang.
I got no successes.
I got
I'd like
one
to roll more
success.
I got 2, 1 exploding, 2.
dice. Come on.
Okay,
I
so
got
0,
I got
1,
8. I got
2.
1 8 and 4 2s. That's
I got a
terrible.
bunch
God.
of 7s.
No.
It's okay. So, as you... So this really seems to be working. So the hilt and the crossguard is starting to come loose from the sword. But obviously, one of you jostles the blade maybe a little bit. And Fenrir sort of like jerks suddenly. And Elspeth,
No.
you fall from the cloud.
Ah. Okay.
Um,
I am falling.
So it's up to you guys what you want to do. You have an action to try and do something. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna try and grab on
I-
something as I go, obviously.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to try and grab her arm.
Okay, so if you're trying to grab, it's going to be might athletics.
Okay, I'm gonna try and grab,
Both of
I
you.
guess, like a tooth or something as I go past, or if I notice the arm in time, the arm.
Yep.
Am I rolling as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, that's 1, 2, 3
Okay.
successes.
3 successes for me too.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm gonna live.
perfect.
I live.
As you start to fall off, away from the car backwards. You sort of reach forward to try and grab something, and Flora's hand is there, and she sort of just like hauls you back onto the cloud,
Ooh,
and you just sort of like lie across it, panting.
That was let's not do that again. You're stronger than you look, Flora. Wow. Okay.
I think it's the adrenaline, like when a mother's baby is in danger.
I'm okay. Let's unpack that dynamic later.
Cleo heavily rolls her eyes in the background.
But thank you. Could have died. Wasn't looking forward to that.
Will and I are incapable of making characters who get on.
It's very amusing.
It's because if we make characters that do get on, people just think we're flirting all the time, so...
Which would be disgusting.
Well, let's see what happens in the next campaign.
Ooh.
Ooh. Spoilers.
Threat.
Spoilers.
See you in 2024 for that one, folks.
Woo.
Get ready for that.
So I've got Elspeth on the cloud. Do the others get to take another hit, or is it just Cleo and Fred this turn?
So just Cleo and Fred to try and get the sort of like finally get the hilt off. So again, might or cunning with athletics this time.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, see, I can be benevolent.
Can.
Yeah, can. Doesn't
there's
happen often, but
potential.
it happens in.
3 successes for me.
Oh, and it's 3 from Fred as well.
Yeah, Fred,
He managed to sort of
Parallels
lever
in
the
cinema.
hilt. You know, to lever the hilt off one of you, also like one of you on either side, standing on like Fenrir's teeth, and you both sort of manage to like lever the hilt off, and it clatters to the ground below. And it falls for quite a long time. It's quite like it's very sort of as it lands, it sort of almost creates like a poof of dust, and it's sort of quite heavy, embedded into the rock. But the hilt is now off. There is just the blade, and Fenrir sort of starting to move a little bit now. Not a lot, not like moving his head, but starting to move his body.
Okay.
Okay.
And this is where some of the green magic, like magic that Loki was doing, that green and gold magic, starts to sort of almost... It's like coming up through where the blade is from underneath into Fenrir's mouth.
So, is there enough give in the chains for him to move his head off the blade now, or do we then have to release the chains first?
So there's probably not enough give to get him to be able to fully get his chin up, but you don't need to, you only probably need to get rid of some of the chains rather than all of them to be able to do this.
Alright, let's go check where these chains are fitted into, I guess.
I'm gonna bring the cloud down.
Thank you. My hero and pilot.
Yeah, I quite
Get in, loser. We're starting the apocalypse.
Okay, that's better than my episode
That's
title
good,
suggested.
I like that.
Is that too long? Is there anything?
No?
Like for a title?
No,
with it.
We've had breakfast and maybe death before.
It's a little long. I like it. I think it's good.
It's a fun
I think it's
title.
good. I think maybe Sword in the Stone for this one, and Get in Loser, we're starting the apocalypse for the next one.
Nice.
That works.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, okay, we take him down. I'm gonna be like, not to be cartoony, but do we split up and look for clues, like the chain holds, or are we just gonna go one by one round them all together?
Is Loki like here with us, or?
Loki seems to be controlling the magic.
Okay.
That, as you look, seems to be not keeping Fenrir's jaw in place, but it seems to be like moving the blade ever so slightly when Fenrir moves, so it's not agitating the wound.
Yeah, Cleo's just going to sort of lean in with kind of the 3 of us that are there and just go, so this is like the point where we can't come back from in terms of if we're going to do this or not. So we just need to be sure this is what we want to do, because I know they're telling us to do this, but they are the trickster god after all, and they're the only person that's told us to do this. So I just want to check everyone is all in on this, because there's no going back now.
I mean,
Because what if they're just lying and this is just they're just like fooling us to stop the apocalypse, you know?
Well, unless all the stuff that I saw when I dropped the keys in the well. I just saw everything, they'd said again and again and again. And, I mean, I don't know, it could have been something that they put in my mind to egg me on, but, I wasn't exactly against them before that. I know that Loki is the one who got us on this weird adventure, but they have saved our lives.
Can I ask you guys a simple question?
Mm-hmm.
Does this feel like the right thing to do?
Loose. Given everything I've seen, does it?
Well, you can do roll for vibe check if you want.
Yeah, I'll vibe check.
You guys want a vibe check?
No, I know what I think already.
You can either think what you think, or if you make a roll, I can give you some information.
I want a vibe check based on the
Roll for
new
vibes.
information I've received about, after Mim as well.
Okay, composure, empathy. Vibe check it.
Ooh.
You have empathy, right? Do you have empathy?
Flora has alright empathy. Oh, can I use my special skill for this because it's people in need?
Yes.
That really relates.
Yes,
to
I feel like you can
situation.
definitely use people in need for a injured dog.
Yeah.
She can't keep getting away with it.
I think this time she can.
I think this time it's fair. Okay, 6 dice. Oh, thank God. Okay. So that's 3 successes, 1 exploding. Another exploding, 4 successes. Okay, 4 successes, vibe check.
That's a big vibe check.
That is a
It's a
big
good
vibe
vibe
check.
Check
So
those vibes.
I'm not gonna tell you what your character thinks. So from the information you know, so you have seen Loki has told you things. You've seen how they reacted while you were on Asgard. You saw what you saw in Mim as well, and you think that you can't be sure. Obviously, Loki is even more ancient than any of the other gods on this plane. They have lived thousands of lives, but you don't think they're lying. I will give you that. You don't think they've been lying to you.
Yeah.
And as you look at Fenrir, they don't feel malicious.
Yeah. I'm in.
If you look at look over at Cleo, she's biting her lip so hard that it's bleeding, and she's just no animal should be hurt like this. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think as well. I mean, whatever is going on in the bigger picture, this is wrong. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't pretend to know what's going on half the time now these days, but this here, if we can stop it, I think we should.
Okay. Let's go.
And you know what? I think that's quite a nice place to end this episode.
Ooh.
Oh
Mellow
gosh.
ending today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Cleo content. I have been working on some Cleo music, and I think I'm finally going to get to debut it for this episode.
Aha.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it's not good though. It's Cleo content, but not in a good direction.
Oh, all content is
It's
good
fine.
content.
Will and I have had
Sorry,
hour-long
that's just Anne
conversations
projecting her crush on Buffy characters.
Will and I have had hour-long conversations about what Cleo's ending will be in this campaign, and I have
Ooh.
emotions. I have feelings.
Happily ever after. Of course.
Depends what you mean by that.
Oh god, now I want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to play out.
All right. Well, I'm afraid if the lovely audience wants to know what happens next, they'll have no choice but to follow us on Twitter at RWD_pod, Instagram at the same tag, that's RWD_pod. And of course, subscribe to us on Spotify, YouTube, Acast, Apple Podcasts, or wherever else you get your podcasts at A Rendezvous with Destiny. And because I said you've got no choice but to do it, you legally have to go and do it now. Trust me, I
true.
studied law.
It's binding.
It's binding. It's a binding contract.
Yep.
If you like me and you want to see me in more things, I also do the D&D 5e actual play podcast, Deck of Many Aces, an actual play podcast with actual asexuals. We release on the Fridays of the week that RWD doesn't, so if you miss me, you can come catch me there at Deck of Many Aces, wherever you find your podcasts, and on Twitter and Instagram. And if you like us and you want to help us keep doing what we're doing, we have a couple ways you can help us. So we have again, anyone want to help me pronounce it?
Kofi?
No.
Kofi feels
Kofi.
natural to me. But
Kofi?
I know the whole point is
Coffee.
it's meant to be buying someone a coffee, but then it's I don't know.
It's spelled like Ko-Fi. It's spelled like Ko-Fi. I'm just
Yeah.
Spelt bad. But we
Yes.
have one of
Ko-Fi beats
Ko-Fi
to help you study.
donations to help you
Yes.
podcast too.
Yeah.
and you can find that in our link tree, which is available in our social media bios. And also, if you would like to come collab with us, we have a little ad spot in the middle of every episode. And if you want to do a promo swap, come let us know. Or if you just want to come say hi, we have an email. It's rwdpodcastcontact@gmail.com.
All the better names are already taken, unfortunately. So.
Have we ever received
Also,
an email?
we are looking into maybe producing some merchandise that you can wear, so you can literally advertise our podcast on our behalf and pay us for the privilege. So to do that, we're going to be putting out some polls and a few things on our Twitter and on our Discord, so make sure to check us out there and let us know what you think, because your feedback is the most important thing for us.
Yeah,
It's gonna be good.
Cool.
Is that the
Is that
marketing
everything?
line that you're going with, Will?
gonna be good.
What other people
Advertise
other,
our podcast for us.
advertise a podcast for us and pay us for the pleasure? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just the vibe. I'm in a weird vibe because I'm coming down off a cold, and then
It's
I saw
that
Luce
cowpox.
yesterday, and we
Genji.
drunk solidly for about 6 hours.
Yep.
So I'm not hungover, but I have a vibe about me today. Is what I'll
there's
say.
definitely a full vibe in today's episode, but it's good. And, well, you won't be able to listen to the next episode for 2 weeks, but we're about to go, well, these lovely three are about to find out what happens next now.
Woo!
Woo.
This material is unofficial and is not endorsed by Onyx Path. We are claiming no ownership over Onyx Path intellectual properties, game systems, art or stories, which remain the properties of the rights holders. All characters, names and locations used are either public domain or are entirely fictional and bear no intended resemblance to their real life counterparts. If you have any legal issues, please contact us directly.